Okay, you're allowed to go now because I'm ready.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, to Battle Pirates Crib. Today we're going to talk about Bounty 42. And let's say hello to everybody. Magic Mike
Hello to everybody.
and Derpy.
Yeah, Bounty 42, not very good. That's all. Have a
Okay.
nice show, everyone. See you next week.
Well, I saw. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's move ahead.
Next slide.
Yep. All right. The Zintium D4P armor um, has a sonar range boost. I think of 5. It wasn't showing up. I'm not sure who ran into that, but
Yeah, the real pressing issues in today's game are being fixed, like the tier 2 armors. Very important stuff to be done here, folks. Don't tell you kicks I never fixed nothing.
yeah. Well, I at least like that they're listing out. Sometimes they don't take credit for some of the more important fixes that they do because we'll see them, and then it shows up in tuning and whatnot. It doesn't really general improvements in the game. So I don't want to discourage them from telling us what's going on, but be more robust about it because I think they fixed a lot more stuff than that. But I don't know. And mines were not depleted following attacks on a base if the players had reached the maximum storage of those mines. I'm assuming this means if the base was defeated. So that's sort of important, I guess. But that means that people have like 30 of each mine, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So might as well. Doesn't really change anything if they got 30 more. So all right. If nothing else, we got the calendar right now. We're in Bounty 42. We got High Ground, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Creeping Barrage for your trenchers, and then I'm assuming that we're going to get on Friday. I assume we're going to get a new calendar to show what's going to happen in April, which will be hopefully it drops before the show. So let's one more click. We'll do Derpy's BP this week. He's gone into some detail on Bounty. Kickside employee bases from Wednesday. These are all Pacific time. Wednesday at 3 to Thursday at 3. Shipwrecks Thursday to 3, Friday to 3. Gold Nexus from Thursday at 3, I guess till the completion. And then the Kickstarter employee bases come back on Saturday at 3 o'clock.
More detailed times than listed in the briefing.
Yep. And TLCs, we just talked about those, and we'll show the High Ground slide in a minute. And yeah, you can go ahead and spend this week's tokens, and next week you're going to have to start saving them for. At some point, you mentioned what the Ravager. There we go. Where did you find out the name of
it? Was on the pop-ups for the armors in the game. When we got the corrosive and penetrative ones, it said Ravager. So
okay. Alrighty.
I have not seen it anywhere else. Despite my looking for it, it's not in the game.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be. I don't see how it hurts them at all to, as soon as we finish, as soon as we start introducing new technology for the next raid cycle, to give us the name of the ship is, so we don't just, as you did in afterwards, tier 10 assault hull, the next assault hull. If we have the name, it makes players and alliances more, it makes it easier to talk about and less confusing to discuss if we actually have the name of it. So I'm glad it was released there, but I think they should just refer to it by its name from as soon as it becomes relevant that we're starting to collect information or collect technology for it. So,
Okay.
Alrighty, let's move on to the next. All right, here's the High Ground TLC. They did not add any Everest upgrade tokens. It's as it was originally born. And it came into the Earth with, what is it? 6 regular build tokens and 4 cloud breakers. More armor, more gales, more missile defense systems. So if you are still outfitting avalanche mortars and using up your build tokens, you might as well do this. And if you have a semi-advanced Everest fleet, you can just auto this for repair in the dock. If you go in every encounter, I think some of them are repair in the water. It's it's not exciting, but if you want the build tokens, they're there. Okay. Alrighty. Bounty 42. So, which started about a little over an hour ago. Derpy, you put together a video with issues, like 7 or 8 issues that you saw going on with Bounty. It didn't cover one of the ones that I had.
Yeah, which is one of the ones you have is when I get hit, I get a 4-hour bubble, but my turrets take like 8 hours to repair.
Yeah, or my portal takes 12. It's that's one. You didn't bring that one up, but do you want to quickly condense some of the main points in your video?
Yeah, my theory that I'm putting out here is a lot of the stuff in the game seems like Kixeye is designing Bounty to make us as annoyed as possible. Is this me right now? I'm doing those same hand motions. You just can't see them. Kixeye is designing Bounty to make us as annoyed as possible, so we just blitz it and get frustrated. A few simple things, like you have to kill all the oil rigs in the Bounty bases and your opponent bases by going around the outside, which just takes an extra hit, another 2 minutes, whatever. Or, really distracting me. I can't tell what's going on. Or what else? The bases that are not in the locator. So if the bases are not in the locator, I don't want to play scroll the map and look for the target. I want to play hit bases and do Bounty, as well as just base defense is quite strong right now. So it's really just no. I can't do this. So when base defense is very strong, I try and hit Bounty. It is not worth it to lose my fleet for 4 hours damage on the fleet for 2,000 Bounty, or the 93 level base. It's about the difficulty of a 150. Why not just rename it to 150 so you don't sneak? So it's not like a wolf in sheep's clothing, bait and switch kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
A few other small. That's a small thing that you would figure out. The 93 is bad to hit if you tried. But if a low level player says, okay, yeah, and a few other things like what does quartermaster captain mean? Which one's harder? Powder monkey? That doesn't make sense to me. I guess it kind of does now, but.
Yeah, the powder.
Yeah, it's just some stuff like that.
Yeah, and the fact that the other good points that I thought you brought up in your video was the locator.
Yeah, that was one that I mentioned. I don't want to play scroll the map. I want to play hit the bounty. Although the locator needs to actually work, bringing to the closest target, so someone else doesn't steal it from you by the time you get there.
Yeah.
I'm sure I hope Kixeye's business model is not make people as annoyed as possible till they blitz the whole thing. But that's what half the evidence out there points to.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, it's, I don't know what the solution is. I mean, you pointed at multiple things. Yeah, it seems like the people that invented it have gone away, and so it doesn't feel like they really understand what's going on, because a lot of times historically we had things like the person that invented it went away and then they just stopped doing it. expert builds, the mega, all that stuff. The person that had the idea went away, and then that whole aspect of the game went away, and then a new one would be introduced. But this one has continued to go on, and it doesn't feel like they have a feel for what the original idea was that worked for a lot of people.
Yeah, half repair base hitting weekend was that kind of it?
Yeah, they've changed it so many times. We're on 42 at this point, and everybody needs to look in the upper left-hand corner to figure out where the 42 is. But yeah,
I see it.
Yes. So, I mean, it is quite the coincidence that they introduced the bounty hunters on the 42nd issue, but I guess I would have used it earlier otherwise. But I still have no idea how Spider-Man is playing into this whole thing. But okay, well, let's get into some more details of bounty. All right. We have the new Tier 10 Volcanic Heavy Mortar Turret, which we have a slider on. Increase the max cap of the Exterminators to 5. Increase the max cap of the Badgers to 5, which...
I thought that was a bit early.
Yeah. People are... I mean, it seems like it's, when the Exterminators went to 5, I don't really... You would have to build a very particular kind of base to put 5 Badgers in, wouldn't you?
You would. I think that most people are going to be using 2, 3, or 4. Most people probably not 4.
Yeah, because as we talked about, it was on the Friday show or the Wednesday show. It seems like you would need to build a base where you had your portals further up in there. Because we talked about on Friday that I started playing Doom because there wasn't anything to do last week, and once you go to a certain point, triggers a trap, releases new monsters. And it seems like that's the kind of base that you would want by using your portals to release more Badgers, because the Badgers do a lot of damage, but you don't really want to have them.
They have sort of diminishing returns if there's 2 of them stacked up on the same spot and you're hitting them with the splash weapon and the duplicate ore cap 1.
Yeah,
2 Badgers is not twice as good as 1 Badger.
Correct. Yeah, that was the point I was going for. And so you would need to figure out releasing them. And that's why, at one point I have an engine on all of them, but I threw out the idea of potentially not using an engine on one of them so it would lag behind. So it wouldn't be sitting on top of the ship and taking the splash damage of the other ones. But I've gone with engines on both of them and just separated them by distance in my base, and so they're a good distance away from each other. But they eventually do just stack up on top of the Exterminators. So
no way is there a Badger in the 65. That's ridiculous.
Well, the 70 is easy. In case anybody wants to go out there, the 70 is, I made a comment in Discord that this looks like, even though it's a Kickstarter employee base, it looks like somebody that's going to have written in land tiles on their base, "Fuck you, Kicks." I don't know if you can find a 70 and want to show it to us, but
I'm peeking a 65 real quick, and I just want to see that there is in fact a Badger in a lowest level thing.
Okay, well, one more click from Mike, and then we're going to switch over to Derpy.
Yep, there's a Badger in the 65. That's what I wanted to know.
All right, 5 Badgers. They don't look so bad. So
1, 2, 3, 4.
You're not counting right.
1, 2.
There's
there's a 5th
one.
one.
Yeah.
There we go. Yep. So, all right, I'm going to add you into the stream now, Derpy.
Okay, here's a level 65. You can see that. You can't see it in here, but there's a Badger right here. Some of the PT Transformers, the better turrets or better defenses. I don't see any of these of the very large tier 10 mortars, unless that's one. Yep, looks that a tier 10 mortar. So even in their,
it's about 100%, right?
Well, it's not shooting at me. I don't know what's going. Oh, there we go. Yep, I'm gonna retreat. So the level 65 has a Badger and a brand new mortar. That looks wonderful. I've been doing the.
Find a 70. It's a powder. It's a powder monkey, if you can.
Yeah, well, let's see here. 65, 70.
There we go.
I have been doing the 97s, same exact as last month, and the 122s are actually quite good. If you've got two or three exterminators.
Okay.
97s can be done with 4 warhounds. 4 or 5 warhounds. So you think this guy's about quit?
Yeah, I know you expect him to, turn either the land tiles into the shape of a penis, or write "fuck you" kicks in wall tiles at some point in the next week or so.
Yeah, I would. If I saw someone's real base like that, that's what I would expect. Yeah, I mean,
I would have gone the other way, but yeah.
Well, there's things the other way. Oh, there's a gatekeeper. Hello.
If you go down the south, I don't think much pointing at you.
Other than these two.
Okay. I think there's a couple of gatekeepers, and there's another gatekeeper right there that's submerged. While you're doing this, the other issue that you brought up was the fact that, and I think you covered it a little bit, was the fact that there are, they're putting oil rigs out, out in the very corners of the bases just to make it,
Yeah, this one warehouse in the corner, just to make it difficult to get you. Although, to be honest, this base is not very hard. And a few of the others have had their things moved inside. I don't know if I had anything to do with that. I'm fairly sure I did for the 112, having all that stuff moved in 2 or 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least brought it up. Hey, Centaur, why do you have all these things on the outside? Are you trying to make us spend another 2 minutes to kill your base, or do you want us to have fun? But
because it just makes it annoying. It doesn't make it harder.
Yeah.
Is that a Carnage?
Yep, that's a Carnage.
Okay.
Which is why I think this is Centaur's base. Like a second mini account or whatever.
Jeff, I'll be back in the last 2 minutes.
Quarter Centaur?
Yeah, quarter Centaur.
Okay.
So ideally, this base would be doable with tier 9 Conquerors that use 0 Warhound, whatever.
Yeah.
A few of those. But it does look like it's about to quit.
Yeah. I
can, if my fleet gets repaired, I might have a bit more than 5 minutes. I can show the 122 is manageable. For some reason, this guy thinks he's repairing.
Has that been a consistent issue, or
just one that I noticed in the last 5 minutes?
Okay. So you were not repaired before that?
I was not repaired before that.
Okay. Because it definitely looks like instant repair in the water.
Yeah, that one base should be. If anyone would like to log into my account and hit those same targets 1,000 times, you are more than welcome to do that.
Yeah.
Because I will not be doing that. Yeah, this is. I'm not going to be ready to hit another target for another few minutes, looks like. So,
okay.
We can go back to talking about the things, or I can peek a few or whatnot.
Well, Mike, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. Yep.
Okay, we're gone that long. Okay. Let's while Derpy's doing his thing, let's move on the slides.
Okay.
All right. Captain Quartermaster Powder Monkey. To answer your previous question, Derpy, this hasn't changed in a while. Let's move on. All right. The Volcanic heavy mortar even has a volcano on the side of it. Looks a little bit like the Armaculum. As far as what?
Pompeii.
Yeah, but doesn't
Roman.
this feel? Yeah, but doesn't the general feel? I mean, this feels more like Incan or Aztec in its look.
Yeah, with the I can see that.
Yeah, and the shapes. Yeah. All right, so I've compared it to the other Tier 10 turret. Its most outstanding feature is the 500 range, 180 to 500.
With that short barrel?
What?
With that short barrel?
Yeah. And it's that 180 is a really big number. I was trying to find something that was a range of 180. I didn't have a lot of luck. The best thing I could come up with some stuff that was 191, which is close enough. But basically, with most base designs, the 180, this blind spot, means it's not going to hit anything inside of your base. Even if you put it way at the back, I mean, it could hit somewhere near your entrance, but generally not. The 500 is a huge distance away. Pretty much covers, if properly placed, I think you were talking about Osprey's base. It pretty much covers the entire map if properly positioned on the edges. And I think that's what the
here I'm sharing my screen with the Gatekeeper patrol range on 180. If you put a turret right here, that's what it won't hit. It won't hit everything on the inside here, so it's going for things on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it goes up to 500, which is bigger than this, I mean, you're going to be hitting almost everything on the entire map. The level 119, which I think is actually Alien's base, at least at the start of Bounty, you could not enter the target without being shot at by something instantly.
Yeah, it is very. I mean, is it meant for the Basilisk or a future haul? It feels like it's meant for a future haul.
I'm sure you could come up with some applications using this against the current ones if you stick it way further back or whatnot. I don't know how much damage it's doing, but you get projectile speed and the damage real high, and place it way at the back of your base. And
I'm going to go into the specials. Is there a way to counter the mort?
Does it say? It doesn't say.
Just going to ask that. I'm looking for a way.
It doesn't say uncounterable.
Yeah.
It doesn't say flak evade. But our conquerors, you can't put Gales on exterminators. If you use a tier 7 Breacher Dreadnought with the built-in countermeasures, then maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah, and Mike, turrets don't have weight.
No, I see weight. I meant
they have power consumed.
Power consumed.
Yeah, so it's the same. The armor is the same. The projectile speed is 280, which is fairly low, and we'll get into that. A splash of 20, a spread of 150, which should be divided by 5, so it's a spread of 30, which is like old Kixeye math. But it's still fairly large. The other issue is it has a salvo of 10 with damage of 2.5 million, so it's 250,000 as far as deflection damage, as opposed to 3 million divided by 4. Significant difference as far as the launcher goes, but you would have to expect something like this associated with a mortar with a weapon with this range has a reload time of 15, which is not that difficult to get back into like the 5 range. But then you have the salvo of 10, which is going to add in another 2 seconds on top of that. So that reload time is really not all that important, which we'll get into. And then at the bottom, you have these debuffing. Every time you hit something, it debuffs deflection by 2,000 with a maximum of 175,000, which makes it again feel like it's something in the future, a short range explosive, or we have our current rockets that we have in our base. But I don't know. But let's get into how to ideas how to equip it. The first idea is not the right one. Okay, there we go. Escalation, eruption pyre, and fuel tank provide projectile speed 45, explosive reload of 175, splash of 20, and then we use fuel tank 01X, splash of 80, explosive damage of 75. Then we have frontline power platform ZU, provides more reload of plus 20 and these deflections. But that increase in mortar reload of 20% is only going to buy you about a third of a second. So that's sort of irrelevant. Even though if you look up explosive, these are the 3 specials that pop out at you. One more click. All right. So we're left with, I'm going to drop that one. And the other one that I think is probably the solution is heavy ballistic shells, combined with the projectile speed associated with the eruption pyre, and then one more thing that we're going to add in later that's not a ship special or a turret special, but it's a what do you call it when you put something on a warehouse?
Tactical module.
Tactical module. You can get the projectile speed of the volcanic heavy mortar up to like 770, which is pretty fast. But give it one more click, Mike. Okay. The Iron Storm accelerator gives you another 30 projectile speed for anything within the 50 range, and also reduces your spread. So this is this is something to look at if you want to maximize the chance that you're actually going to hit, because combining projectile speed with the distance, the 500 distance is huge, and I'm not even really sure how that's going to work. The other way to look at it would be increasing the splash to create a wider area of effect, and the sulfide deployer does stack with the fuel tank, so you can get your splash up to 180 with sulfide deployer, fuel tank, and the escalation eruption pyre. So, but again, is this thing actually going to do a lot of damage?
Yeah, with the salvo of 10, it's doing 10 shots of 250k, plus whatever damage you get from increased specials and splash, minus whatever you get from missing. And
it gets up to about 475.
Yeah, per projectile. So if you're not moving and it lands directly on you, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah, if it's an exterminator though, if you put on the I think you get up to like 250. If you use the invader plate, the explosive invader plate, the firing arc, Greg, is 100 degrees.
If only there were a good way for Kickside to put that in the stats of the weapon to communicate that to players.
It's only going to hit something stationary. I don't know. With 770 projectile speed.
Yeah, now you're talking.
That's, I think it's going to hit that, but it's so hard to tell with that much distance. Once you add up all these projectile speeds, it gets cooking. So it's hard to tell.
The two kick-side employee bases that have had it that I peaked, I've needed to retreat to avoid getting hit. If I were just moving away, I think it would have damaged me.
Okay. And how much damage? Because,
I don't know. I retreated before it hit me.
Yeah. All right. Do you have something you're back off? Okay.
I was screen sharing the 122, but I can always do another one.
Okay. Yeah, executioners are quick, yes, and but that's why I'm not sure if it's aimed at the basilisk or some of the older turrets, or it's future proofing our base against something that's going to be a slow sniper type of thing. So it may not have a home if you're going to get a hit by 5 executioners every day. Because now 5 are released. It may not have a place in your base at that point. But in the future, if, it might be keeping out, long-range snipers that are just sort of sitting around. That's the way I looked at it when I saw it. It has 100-degree firing arc. I wanted it to be 180. That way you only needed to have 2 to keep people on their toes. But you need to have 4 for complete coverage, or you can build your base where you probably only need to have 2 available to keep everybody on their toes, so to speak, as far as you need to keep moving. You can't sit around. So, any more on the Volcana?
I haven't really looked at any specials too closely at all, other than what you did show here. And yeah, the firing arc was on the forum post added on, but I just wish it was in the stat block.
But yeah. If any of them were in the stat block, there's not for any of the turrets. Even though Saltwater, before he quit, or not quit, he went to I'm assuming BP Brawl, went to a different game. He was surprised that they weren't in there. He's like, no, that's supposed to be in there. And I'm like, showing him screenshot after screenshot. And I'm like, no, they're not in there. They're still not in there. And he's been
goes back to the 3 eyes: indifferent, incompetent. I can't remember the last one ever. In
lazy eye.
No. Indifferent, incompetent, or ignorant. That's it.
Yeah.
So in that case, they were ignorant of the problem.
Yeah, he was ignorant of the problem, and maybe the person charge of making somebody execute that issue was indifferent. So it might have been all of it. Just depends, because they are on the ships as far as the arcs, but the arcs never made it into the turrets. I don't even know if it was Geely or it was another. Was it another CM that would, when they released it in the forums, which is not really a great way to do it because it's sort of lost in time, but they would actually show a picture of the arc. If people didn't understand 60, 180, 90. 100 is interesting because it's not quarter or half, or it's
it's whatever the PvP designer at that time wanted it to be.
Yeah. All right. I think we only have one more slide. All right. This is the store. You can get 5 of the Volcanic heavy mortars for $25K. 3 more Badgers to get you up to 5. 3 more Exterminators to get up to 5 with $30K each. The launcher turret, same price as the Volcanic heavy mortar turret. The limit's always been 5, so I think I already have 5. So, and then more PT transformers, and I still think I'm not certain, but I think you're still limited to 5.
I'm not certain either, but that's my guess. I can't try and redeem it until the store opens a day from now.
Okay. Did you want to show us some of the you were peeking?
Yeah, if you give me about 2 minutes, I can be
Okay.
prepared and hit something.
Okay. Is there anything else we should be talking about?
I guess in general, the Kickstarter employee bases are the 64, the first one there, which we already showed you, the FU Kickstarter base. Really easy, but doesn't have any pretty low payout. 65, which has the new mortar in it, and the Badger, and a low payout. The 93, don't touch ever. It's pretty hard. The 112, also quite hard, has the new stuff in it. I haven't actually done that. The 109 didn't have a guard fleet last month. Now it has one this month. So I'm not going to be hitting that one. The 97 is the same as last month, and it's doable. And, okay, PG Transformer Limit's 10. 97, same as last month, it's doable. 122 is also doable. I'll get that one done after I'm done talking here. The 112 don't touch, 109 don't touch. Yeah.
Okay, and the replenishment spawns, how often do they appear to normally just clear the whole?
I've got no idea, because if we're only hitting 2 targets and they clear everything, or if we're only hitting the 2 targets and they clear everything but those 2 targets, we're just going to be left with a bunch of really bad things on the map. Have to play scroll the map, not play bounty.
Yeah.
Let's see. I found a 97. I can show that one. And I'm using 3 exterminators, a trencher, and a whatever that ship's called, Harrower. You can do this with an exterminator and 4 warhounds, a Harrower and 4 warhounds, a Harrower and 4 trenchers. My plan: send everything off to the corner and use these exterminators to get these 2 gates down and release the path for the Harrower to get up to the inside, same as we've been doing. The piranhas you can ignore until you get this gate down and you're running away from them. That's down, and then you pull the Harrower slightly out in front, so it's going to take more damage to be the one that's shot at. In the meantime, this trencher can go around the outside and kill things. And the Harrower is going to go in now. 2 gatekeepers here and an Overlord carrier right there. You're going for the Overlord carrier. Just going to send this around the outside now. And you want to try and not get hit by these 2 gatekeepers if at all possible with the Harrower. It won't take a ton of damage, but it does take some. I keep moving to get out of the range of this decimator.
Makes sense.
Nothing is shooting at you. We're actually doing damage to you right here. So 3 shots off on the Overlord. That goes down. Select the exterminators. Those go in. 1 gatekeeper left right here, which I can't see because I'm not in range of it. But when it does surface, the exterminator the exterminators and the Harrower should all shoot at it. When I spot it with sonar getting close to it. And don't stop moving or these scatterguns will get you. At that point, just press S. You're about all good.
Okay.
Obviously really easy with the exterminators. Warhound trencher is a little bit more difficult. You will take a bit more damage from the scatterguns sometimes. But if you do it right with any ship, it should be instant base repair.
It looks like
Terror
it's
helps out a
in
lot.
water at this point, though.
This one might be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this target's manageable. Like, bounty's doable. And it's 1.5k normal payout, sometimes 2k.
This is a quartermaster target or a powder monkey?
Quartermaster target.
Okay.
And if you want 400,000 bounty, this gives you 200,000. You only need to hit, what is that one? 400 divided by. Only need to hit this target 200 times to get all the points you want. 6 minutes.
Okay. Well, there we go. Need to wait a couple hours to hit Derpy again.
Yeah, I've banked up twice.
Okay. They could split up the limit on the halls and 2 bounties. Why really so much? I'm assuming they were trying to achieve balance, because people would complain, oh, now there's 5 exterminators, and people are going to, oh, there's 5 badgers. If you release them both at the same time, it seems like, I don't know how they balance against each other, but it at least cursorily looks like an attempt to achieve some sort of offensive defensive balance by releasing them all at the same time, while at the same time increasing the number of points that players need, therefore creating other issues as far as players feeling like they need to get those points. So it makes sense to me.
I don't know if this is going to be balanced PvP or still weighted in favor of the defender.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, as far as exterminators, exterminators are much more powerful than badgers as far as firepower. But yeah, it's tricky to figure out how it's going to end up at the end of the day, because, as we were talking about before, and you brought up that, 5 badgers is not 1 badger times 5. It's probably it's probably 3 badgers. It's not, as far as the abilities, because it only has an aura cap of 1. The exterminator doesn't really have those issues, and it severely outguns the badger.
Yeah, until you throw in 12 defensive turrets behind it.
Yes.
And the other thing is the badger makes the exterminator deal half the damage to buildings with the purple aura. Here's the tricky part about this base. You need to kill the badger with your long range weapons without killing the portal, which usually means taking a little bit of damage from the Hellmouth. You can go on back to what you were saying there.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to figure out how that balance works out, because I don't know that the volcanic mortar is going to do anything against the exterminator. If you have 5 exterminators,
I'll bet you would.
Well, I mean, if you put the X Invader plate on there and you keep on moving, I don't know. I mean, it may. When I saw people try to hit that, or was it? I forget how I saw. You did something earlier, but I don't know how much damage they're going to do if you have an X plate on there. Because you're going to get up to.
What deflection does the X plate give you? What deflection does that give you? 50k?
I think it was 75. So it was like
versus 400k damage.
425, I think.
That's
and we don't know what the splash fall off is, right?
That's correct. That's an invisible stat.
Yeah. So the splash fall off, if you're, that's why I wasn't certain. Projectile speed versus, do you want additional projectile speed, or do you want more splash? Um, they might both be the same thing, or splash fall off is so great that it's hard to tell until we actually see them in action. I'm not sure what that means, Simon.
This is the 122. What base is it? 122.
Well, it has this question 3 minutes ago. Okay.
I've been hitting this thing for 3 minutes.
Oh, I think it was a 97, I think when he asked the
At
question.
a 97, and now this is the 122.
Okay.
Both of which are quartermaster level, between usually 1.5k. Random chance at increasing to 2k. Usually not base repair, 1 or 2 minutes on some of these exterminators, but it's possible to do. 2 targets, 20 minutes damage, 2.5k, breaking the bank.
There you go.
I'm almost tempted just to blitz this and be done with it.
Yeah.
But I won't. I'll hit another 198 of these targets.
You will fall into the trap.
Well, but I guess it's your expectation as far as how many points you think you need. Should we go back to the top prizes and let's see. Are you still on slide 9, Mike? Slide 9. Is it 9? There we go. So your expectations as far as prizes go is that you want to get all 5 heavy mortar turrets, even though it doesn't really appear that they have that great of an effect in the current meta.
Yeah, I mean, you've got no idea.
We don't really know.
No idea.
Yeah. But that's the Badger, you already have 2. You probably want to have 1, maybe 2 more.
Yeah, I can be fine with 1 more.
And I understand that you would want to get 3 more exterminators.
Probably just 2 more exterminators because that's all I can get.
Okay, you already have 3, so okay. So we're looking at
maybe
60, 90.
I'm looking at 225.5k for me right now.
Because the mecha exterminator skin?
No, because I'm not getting a damn skin. I'm also getting some build tokens.
That's a lot of points for skin. That's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
If you want to go down to what is it, 10k? Okay, 10k. Keep on going down. Okay. Go back up. No, these are all fucking skins, no. Wow, you have. I think they've changed stuff in the store because it was much simpler when I was looking at this.
If only there were an easier way other than one massive scroll bar. What are you looking for?
Oh, the Breacher Dreadnought. You just passed it. Okay. Breacher Dreadnought, tier 8, 10k.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense because no one's using that anymore.
Yeah, it's sort of useless. I mean, why charge that much and make it appear to be valuable to players that may not, might be newer to the game or not know as much? That, like, you shouldn't spend 10k on a Breacher Dreadnought. It's not a third of the value of an exterminator. It's it pretty much has negative value. And then close this one, go further down to the 2k, where they get then into the tier 7 stuff that they're releasing for There we go, the Revenant or the whatever. I mean, the tier 7 stuff they have one for 4K, but there's a lot of stuff getting released that is not good for players that don't know what the value is. I mean, Vulture. They don't.
We literally have Cerberus Rocket 6 version, an unlimited one given to every player for free. Why do you have a limited version with the exact same stats in the base?
Yeah, it's they need to
because
clean
no one cares enough about anyone's experience in this game.
Yeah, because if you don't know what's going on, people could claim some like, oh, I only have this many points, so I'll get 3 of this and 3 of that, and as opposed to and not realize that they are completely irrelevant in the game unless somebody's going to be putting on some videos with revenants and whatnot. They can't do anything. So
or you can buy a Piranha if you want for 2 of them for $50 worth.
Yeah, but you save 71%.
That number is made up.
Yeah, I know.
Gatekeeper upgrade to you $40.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the portal. Mountain builds.
The portal is $2.99 last time I saw it.
That's almost worth it for me.
Yeah.
18 days, save 18 days each. I've got 1K gold. I could spend 300 and call it good.
Yeah, because it's not our true 18 days, because portals are at the front of your base. Not that I'm encouraging this, but it 18 times 3 times however many times somebody hits your base that gets in, because that's another 18 hours. So yeah, for people that PvP a lot, this seems to be well worth it for them.
TSM, I'm not going to spend it. I don't want to reward their behavior. TSM, this bounty is the worst ever. Well, there's 2 targets that we can hit.
So
if you like playing scroll to map, it's a great bounty.
Bounty, TSM, you want to jump in? I need to go get a beer, so or we could end the show. Either way,
I can just scroll the map free.
Yeah, you don't even have to play bounty. You don't even have to opt in. You can just go back and forth. Let's check the 119, see if I can enter this yet without instantly dying. Nope.
Well, we still don't know how much damage, if any, you're taking.
Let me.
Okay. You got to hit.
I'll get one chip. I'll get one chip out, and I'll let that one take some damage. And you can send me whatever gold I need to cover my repair. How does that sound?
No, but you were fully repaired, right? And you got hit by. Okay, you took 3 seconds of damage.
Took one shot.
I don't think that was.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. If it's doing a significant, I don't think it does. I don't think those mortars do a significant amount of damage. That's my issue.
You want to pay my repair then?
But then don't do something stupid.
If they don't do any damage, then you can pay my repair.
Okay. If they don't do any damage, then I'll pay for your repair.
Well, does that make the opposite true?
Okay, this one has no projectile speed on it.
Okay. It might
it's not actually hitting me.
Okay, so there's not the same reason to be so scared of it. It just makes sure that you're moving along.
What if I get closer to it?
Okay, you're taking damage now. Okay, you got hit by 2?
I got hit by the radioactive launcher turret.
Okay, well now it's your own bill, right?
No.
Yeah, because you're getting hit.
You're covering this one.
No, because you got hit by radioactive. It's not the mortars doing this; it's the radioactive, which is the one
I've got no idea what aliens' build is for those things. I took some explosive damage.
Okay, but
One coin. Pay up.
okay, you can pay for you can go instant and base, but I mean it was one coin, and most of your damage came from radioactive.
I round up.
I see.
46 seconds.
Okay. Alrighty. There's a link on the right-hand side in case anybody wants to join the show. Do we have much else to talk about? Because I need to get another beer.
Is that the end of the slide? Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah. That's the
well, did we talk about FM targets? Yeah, we did. We have.
Yeah, that's from last.
Okay. Sorry.
Is there anything else we should talk about?
No, you already said spend this week's tokens and start saving next week.
Yeah.
That's worth reiterating, at least to somebody like me.
Lego wants the rant, the rage. I'm assuming the rant gif. I mean, he's gonna have to listen to that part of the show because it did throw Lego off his game. I'm sorry, not Lego, Derpy off his game. No. There we go. It definitely threw you off your game.
I mean, yeah, it did. I was doing that same thing with my hand.
Yeah. So TSM, you want to go back to that?
TSM see that?
I have no idea, but it was it definitely threw Derpy off his game a little bit as far as
No, they're just designing bounty to be annoying and to make us suffer. That's what it feels like. I'm sure that's not what they actually intend, but that's the effect and the perception.
Yeah. Derpy couldn't talk during it, but it was all good.
That is so good.
All right, everybody. We'll be back on Friday, where I assume we're going to have the calendar for April and give us an idea what's going to be happening, next week. I love the days when we had the 2-month calendars, and we knew always what was happening a month ahead of time. We no longer deserve that anymore.
No.
And so, but hopefully on Friday we'll see that drop. So thank you all for showing up, and we'll see you back on Friday. And the link is still there. In case anybody's. And hey, KB, do you have anything you want to add to the live show?
No, only the bounty shit. Kicks should be ashamed of themselves.
Okay.
Feces. Shit's a bad word.
No, in Australia it isn't.
It's an appropriate word.
Yeah. All right. The link on the right-hand side. If you want to join, I'll be away for a couple of minutes getting a beer in case you join later, and then I'll add you in. But otherwise, everybody have a great evening. Have fun with bounty and
or we're not doing bounty.
There's no fun in bounty.
Or high ground, which is it is what it is, and we'll see y'all soon.
Mm-hmm.
Later, people.
I better have too fast.